hello and welcome to the RLA Mortgages presentation on sourcing your buy-to-let mortgage. My name is Doug Hall. I'm one of the directors of RLA Mortgages 3MC, and this presentation will take about 10 minutes or so. As part of this process, and from a housekeeping point of view, I do need to read a disclaimer. The disclaimer is as follows. This is a financial promotion and in no way should be viewed as a personal recommendation or advice. Before a recommendation or advice can be given, you should seek independent mortgage or financial advice. RLA Mortgages is operated exclusively for the RLA by 3MC. 3MC is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Our FCA number is 302992. Any property used as security, which may include your home, may be repossessed if you do not keep up repayments on your mortgage. And although the FCA regulate the way the majority of mortgages are sold, in most cases they do not regulate buy-to-let mortgages. This means you may have less protection if things go wrong with a buy-to-let mortgage. So here are the topics I'm going to cover today. They include a brief introduction and background to 3MC RLA mortgages. We're then going to talk around lenders' criteria versus rate. We'll then give you a few ideas on initial rate versus total to pay and the implications of both of those. And then we'll just talk a bit around the RLA Mortgages website. Okay, just a brief introduction to 3MC. 3MC has been established since 1996. We have been working with members of the Residential Landlords Association for over 3 years now. We also work with lenders and also mortgage intermediaries. We spend quite a bit of time on designing lender-exclusive products, specifically for the buy-to-let market and all areas of that buy-to-let market. Those exclusive products could include rates and also criteria exclusives. In 2014, we took in over 1.6 billion of mortgage inquiries. Okay, so in this slide, we're going to talk around criteria. Obviously, on the slides to follow, we're then going to talk around rates, products, lenders' arrangement fees. But on this, we're just looking at the lender's criteria, and we're coming from it on an angle of the ideal investor and the ideal investor from a lender's perspective. So, if you imagine there's probably 30 to 35 different lenders in the UK buy-to-let market space. They're looking for an investor to have at least a 30% deposit in order to qualify for all of those 30 to 35 lenders. There are lenders that will go up to 85% loan to value, but only a minority of them. So the ideal investor from a lender's perspective, 30% deposit or 30% equity if we're looking at a remortgage. What they're also looking at from the ideal investor's perspective, and this is a lender's perspective again, is they want the rental income calculated on a notional rate at 5%. They want the rental income to be 125% of the mortgage payment. So just putting it a different way, if you imagine your mortgage payment is going to cost £1,000 per calendar month based on a 5% interest rate, then the lender's looking for a minimum income of a minimum monthly income of £1,250 per calendar month. Now that's not necessarily the norm. There are lenders, again in the minority, that have lesser requirements when it comes to rental stress, but that is the actual norm from the average lenders out there if you want to qualify for all 30 to 35 lenders. What they also would like you to have is separate income from property income and self-employed income, and they would want that income to be £25,000 or more. They're looking for you to be buying what you would class as bog standard stock. So bog standard stock being 3-bed semi-detached house, 2-bed flat, 1-bed flat, terraced house, that type of scenario. The way a lender looks at this, if they lend to an investor today and they have to repossess the property tomorrow, what's the market for that property? If it's only a market for an investor, like potentially a HMO or a multi-unit on one title, then the majority of the 30 to 35 lenders will not lend on that type of asset. If the market is also not just investor market, but first-time buyers and movers, then that then gives us an opportunity to talk or to include the majority of the 30 to 35 lenders. And ideally, they only want you to have at least one buy-to-let in the background. So they're not looking for, and this again is for qualification from a lender's perspective for the 30 to 35 lenders. They only want you to have one buy-to-let in the background. So let's move on to the real-time sourcing tool we have available for RLA members, and it's available on the RLA website 24/7. RLA website being www.rlamortgages.co.uk. The tool itself is interactive and it's towards the bottom of this page. So when you jump on the site, this is what you'll see. In this example, we've put a purpose of a remortgage. The remortgage reason is to buy another property. Type of loan, buy to let. Client looking for interest only on a mortgage term of 25 years. The value of the property was 210,000. Loan required 136,500. So loan to value 65%. So again, just a reminder, you can get this information on the RLA Mortgages website and you can use the tool as you see fit. So this slide is, we're just looking at the initial pay rate, and it's from the same example with the criteria entered previously. So the value at 210,000, loan amount 136,500. So these are the type of results you'll see once you've entered that information and press search. If you look towards the left, and in the initial rate column, you'll see a green triangle. So this shows that the information has been sourced, and you can click on any of the actual tabs at the top, by the way. It shows the information has been sourced at the initial pay rate, so the cheapest pay rate available in that scenario. So in this slide, we're using the same set of criteria to source, so the loan example 136,000, and if you look over to the third column from the right, you'll see the green triangle, and this has been based on a total to pay over 2 years. So it gives you the rate and it works out the total to pay to include the fees, and in this example it comes to £8,033. The next cheapest is £8,766. Now this is probably for the investors maybe looking to re-leverage against the asset in 2 years' time, or maybe looking to sell the property at that point. So you just need to think about, how you organise, how you look at your products. So do you look at the initial rate or do you look at the total to pay over 2 years? Just depends on your exit strategy. In this slide, we're just taking a slightly different approach. And if you look at the third column from the right, we've actually based this on a total to pay over 25 years. So if you look at total to pay over 25 years, the cheapest product is showing a 2.7 variable rate. The key reason why this is showing as the cheapest on a total to pay over 25 years is the fact that the revert rate, which is the fifth column from the left, is actually the same pay rate or the same rate as the initial rate. So this one is a lifetime tracker, 2.7 right the way through the deal, including the fee. So the total to pay over 25 years is 94,000. On the next one down, the total to pay over 25 years is 101,550. So the key here is looking at how you're exiting the actual mortgage itself further down the line, what your short-term plans are for the property, or if you're looking at long-term plans for the property, then it's a consideration to look at when using this sourcing tool. What you also have on to the right-hand side is you've got details on how to view the product, and there's also an inquire button. If you press the inquiry, it will then come through to RLA Mortgages, and one of our specialist advisors will then get in contact with you to discuss the products. I do hope you found this presentation useful to you. All of the information is available on the RLA Mortgages website. You also have other facilities on the RLA Mortgages website. If you look down the right-hand side, you've got need an agreement in principle, or if you want a callback, and there's also a good, useful mortgage calculator. So in summary, the RLA Mortgages is run by 3MC. 3MC has been trading since 1996. We offer preferential terms for RLA members, and we design a number of exclusive products for the RLA. There is a good tool that's available, sourcing tool, real-time sourcing tool that you can have access to 24/7. And if you do need any further information, then just visit the RLA Mortgages website.